Have a seat and pull that microphone down to you, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Tell us your name, please.
Officer Kimberly Horning, Horning.
How are you employed?
The City of Cincinnati Police Department.
How long have you been a police officer with the City of Cincinnati?
Just about 9.5 years.
How long? What is your current assignment with the Cincinnati Police Department?
I'm assigned to the criminalistics unit.
How long have you been there?
3 years.
What specific duties, Kim, do you have with the criminalistics unit of the Cincinnati Police Department?
We respond to all suspicious deaths, police-involved interactions, and bank robberies, anything where they think there's a crime scene that we could assist with.
What are your duties when you get to a crime scene?
It varies on the crime scene. I could be photographing, diagramming, collecting evidence, running, in specific to this case, running a Leica scanner, which is a three-dimensional scanning system.
Do you normally at a crime scene work by yourself, or is there a team of officers that divide up the duties and each do different things?
There's a team of us. Typically there's a minimum of 2 that go out on a scene, but depending on how big the scene is or what needs to be completed, there could be 4 or 6 of us.
Did you work on July 19, 2015 with other Cincinnati police officers to process a crime scene on Rice Street?
I did.
And is that in Cincinnati, Hamilton County, Ohio?
It is.
And one of the things I believe you did that day at the scene was to prepare a diagram.
That's correct.
What do you look for in a diagram? When you get to a scene, what do you decide what to put in the diagram, what's important or what may not be important?
When we're showing up at a scene, a lot of times we aren't getting as much information as what we'll develop later on. So we're kind of walking in blindly. The diagramming, and in this case the scanning, is the last thing you do. So at this scene we helped search for evidence and placard what we thought would be pertinent to the case, and when that's completely finished is when we go in and set up our scans.
What is the purpose of the Leica scanner?
So the Leica scan, it's a three-dimensional scanner. It kind of sits on a tripod, and basically it's a laser scanner that collects data points. So in large outdoor scenes like this, if it helps us take the scan back to our station and make a diagram. Otherwise, I'd be out there with a tape measure measuring how many feet a placard is to the sidewalk or something like this. This allows us to have an accurate representation of the scene and allows me to make an accurate diagram from there.
When you do the Leica scan, is that just put it in one position, or do you have to put it in several locations at the scene in order to get the entire scene?
Depending on how large the scene is. So the Leica scanner sits on a tripod, and it can basically only see what you can see from that standpoint, 360 degrees around. So if I need to see on the other side of a vehicle that's parked, I need to then move the scanner to the other side. So in this case, we did 9 scans at this scene, kind of up and down the street on Thill and Rice Street.
Let's say there's a body line right here in the courtroom, and you brought the Leica scan to this courtroom to document everything in the room. Where would you set it up in this courtroom, for example?
I would probably set it up a good 10 feet from the body, so it can't see right below it. So there's kind of a circle just of a blank area that it can't see below it. But if I needed to see a piece of evidence that's behind the jury box, if I put the scanner here, I'd need to put a scanner over there in order to see behind your jury box. So it's line of sight, essentially, where you need to put it.
And once you get that finished product, from seeing it work, you can actually go on there and look behind the judge's desk, look behind this podium, look anywhere in that scene. Is that correct?
That's correct. The scans, we put them and stitch them together, so then you have one complete scan that shows you, and you can turn it and manipulate it and see anything you need to see back from the scene now that you've left.
Does that also allow you to determine exact distances of different items on the scan?
It does.
I can show you a couple of items. First of all, States Exhibits 1A and 1B. Yes, can I identify those?
Exhibit 1A is just an aerial photograph of Vine Street from, I believe it's Hollister, down to Thill Street.
I believe these are already
What number is that?
180. I believe you were mapping a route you were given this particular photograph.
Yes, I think it's just a Google map or a Bing map of.
1B.
1B is, again, another CAGIS map, and this is more specific to Thill Street and Rice Street.
And I believe this is already happened. And that Thill and Rice is the area I believe you began your actual diagram of what you actually saw on Rice Street. Is that correct?
That's correct. Our first scan was at the intersection of Thill and Vine.
I can show you what's been marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit number 1. Can you identify that?
Yes. Exhibit 1 is the diagram that I completed of the crime scene.
I believe a number of the items on that diagram in particular were a gin bottle and a flashlight that were on the street.
That's correct.
Those are the first photograph they take, is that correct?
Yes.
I can show you State's Exhibit number 2. Can you identify that?
Yes, that's the gin bottle with placard number 2.
It's one of the items on your diagram, correct?
Correct.
And State's Exhibit number 3.
Number 3 is also, placard number 3 contains the officer's flashlight.
And State's Exhibit 2F. Can you identify that?
Yes, this was a photograph of 2 and 3, placards 2 and 3, the gin bottle and the flashlight.
And that kind of shows their relationship to where they are to each other?
Yes.
Just displaying State's Exhibit 2K, the gin bottle. State's Exhibit 2K, the flashlight. And State's Exhibit 2F. Both of the items on the street. I take it when you get there, all you can basically say is, this is where the items are when you got there.
That's correct.
Don't know how they got there, if they were moved or not.
That's correct.
With reference to your diagram, Kim, could you approach the gizmo over here and explain the different things you have marked on there and the distances between them? How would you have done if this is an evidence or not? Believe State's Exhibit number 1 evidence?
Any objection?
No, Judge.
Very good. States 1 will be admitted and published.
Go ahead.
So in this diagram, we want to mark what we're showing up. We basically scan the scene as is. So obviously you have the officer's vehicle, which is labeled here with number 1. We didn't know if that was where his vehicle was at the time of the incident or if it had been moved afterwards. So again, you're just marking evidence that is where it was when we found it. So you just want to go with it, all that. Okay. So we have 2 here, and that's the gin bottle that we just showed you.
Let me see if I can maybe you just blow this up a little bit so that yours can see a little clearer. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, it's kind of small because it's large. Number 3 is Officer Tensing's flashlight. It's right here. Number 4 is damage to the guardrail that was presumably made by the vehicle. Number 5 is the damage here. Number 5 is the front bumper that came off of the Honda Accord. And then number 6 is the Honda Accord itself. And number 7 is kind of placed on top of the vehicle, but that indicates where the 140 caliber shell casing was located inside the vehicle.
Inside the car. You also have some measurements on there, is that correct?
Yes.
And what do those, where are they from, and tell us what those distances are?
These are from fixed points. So looking back at the scene, we want to use fixed points so you can see there's 13 feet 5 inches is the width of the driveway right there. They give you a fixed point to that no parking sign, which would be on the east side of the street, and that's I kind of used the edge of the driveway to draw everything from. That makes sense. So from the edge of the driveway to the no parking sign, 22 feet, about 5 inches.
Is that from the, as you're looking at the diagram, from the left side of the driveway? southernmost, or as you're looking at the diagram, the right side of the driveway to that no parking sign?
I did not.
And what are the other distances on that?
Then you have the driveway to the pothole cover, and that's 27 feet 2 inches. And then the left side of the driveway all the way up to the guardrail, and that's 131 feet 9 inches. And then I believe they kind of wanted an idea of how far away the vehicle was, but that's kind of as the crow flies. So I don't know what the trajectory of this vehicle hitting the guardrail and where it went, how far it would actually travel. So this is just an as the crow flies measurement, which is just shy of 300 feet, 299 feet, 7 inches.
Just so I'm clear on the distance from the driveway to the no parking sign, from the part of the driveway closest to Phil Street, which would be on the left or the north side, it's a total of 22 feet and something to the no parking sign.
Correct.
And the driveway itself is 13.5 feet wide.
Correct.
I take it if you subtracted the 13.5 from the 22.4, you would find the distance from the south side of the driveway.
That's correct.
Is that correct?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Press.
Officer Horning, just so I understand, you don't know where the DuBose vehicle was parked
That's correct.
when this occurred? But you do know that from the southern edge of the driveway up to the no parking zone was 22 and a half feet, is that correct? Or is that from the northern?
The northern edge.
Northern edge, okay.
I would like to hand you what's been marked as defendant's exhibit number 1 and ask if you can identify that.
Yes, this was a rough draft when I was, essentially it was created to, it's very similar to the one that you saw, but it has a change in it, if you will.
Let me put it up on the
Okay.
screen here. Perhaps you
Explain
can
it.
step over here and
Yes.
explain the change. Oh, Judge, I'd like to ask that this be admitted.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Very good. Defense one will be admitted and published.
Can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury the changes that have been made?
Yes, this was a rough draft as I was creating the diagram. So as I was not only putting the data points in, I was viewing the video from the officer's body camera. And I was making an attempt to put kind of a ghost car. Patrol officers typically would put a car where it came from and then where it ended up. It would indicate that the ghost of a gray car, if you will, so you had an idea of where the incident started and where it was completed. However, in doing this, you also can't tell where the car is parked based on the video. So that's why this was an earlier rough draft versus the final draft that you saw.
Okay, well, I note on there that you've got markings that indicate 4 feet to 10 feet. Is that what that 4 to 10 means?
Yes.
And what was that supposed to symbolize?
So that's the change. That was hypothetically if I had the front of the vehicle as high as this southern edge versus further back here. It was a rough estimate trying to determine whereabouts. Basically looking through that camera, you can see portions of that driveway. So kind of giving a left and right view of that vehicle.
Does that indicate in any manner how much the DuBose vehicle moved?
No.
Does it indicate in any manner how far the flashlight, how far up or south on Rice Street the flashlight was from where Officer Tenzing started?
No, but the flashlight is still number 3 in the picture, but, yeah.
And the flashlight is, again, 22 and a half feet from the north end of the driveway?
That's correct.
And the gin bottle is how far?
I believe, I don't think I gave an estimate on the gin bottle, but I think it was somewhere around 3 to 4 feet from this northern edge.
Okay. And you aren't able to tell how far the distance from the DuBose car then to the no parking sign was when it was originally stopped, correct?
That's correct. I didn't want to include anything that was a guess, so that's why you only see fixed objects like the no parking sign measured. The driveway, that's never going to move, that's measured.
May I have a moment, Judge?
Take your time.
Judge, we have no further questions.
Very good. Any redirect? Very good. Is this witness released?
Yes.
Any objection? Very good. Thank you, Detective Horning.